Greetings, Dr. Mark Winton here, and what I'd like to do in this very short video is try to provide a few tips on taking the upcoming exams. I am making this video for both my serial murder and my criminal profiling courses, and I'll post it in both courses, but it's the same. Of course, you can watch it twice. You can watch it as many times as you'd like, but I just wanted to mention it is the same, so I'm going to have some recommendations that apply to both. The first thing I would say is to review the syllabus and see which chapters and additional materials will be on the exam. And then, of course, you want to get your materials. You want your book, Criminal Profiling, Serial Murder. Have that. Also, you want to make sure that you have all the PowerPoints, which are on our home page and posted there under the course notes. The PowerPoints are very relevant, and they go along with the YouTube videos that I made for each section. And in the announcement section, you'll see for each week the materials to read from the textbook and the PowerPoint to look at and the YouTube video to take a look at as well. I also have posted in the announcement section a review guide, which I consider to be the main material for each course. And sometimes what I recommend is that students, make their own extensive outline, I guess we might call it, or expanded outline, using the review guide areas as headings. For example, in the serial murder course, the first thing under chapter 1 is myths regarding serial murder. So then you might look at the PowerPoints, the YouTube videos, your textbook, and you might put together the myths that are presented on serial murder. And I'll also mention that when I ask if something's a myth, that means that it's actually a falsehood. So make sure you read those questions carefully. Make sure you read all the choices on a question, just in case there's an all of the above, and that may or may not be the right answer. But A could be right, and then B could be right, but you mark A, and then you notice it's all of the above. I have tried to make the questions clearly differentiated from or the responses. In other words, there should be an obvious correct answer if you know the material. I've tried to avoid, and I've excluded over the years any trick questions or confusing questions, and change the questions around to keep up with the materials, and also the question content area that seems to be consistent across with the book, the PowerPoints, the YouTube videos, and the like. What do the questions look like? Well, you're going to have 50 multiple choice and true-false questions, and you have 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete the exam. Once you open it, during that time frame listed on your syllabus. If you're in the serial murder course, you might find a question like this. This would be, for example, a multiple choice question you might see. According to the FBI, what is killing 4 or more persons at one time considered to be? A, blanket homicide, B, spree murder, C, mass murder, and D, serial murder. And of course, you all know the correct answer to that question would be mass murder. And so you can see, the main feature there is killing 4 or more persons at one time. If you're in the criminal profiling course, you might find a question, for example, let me find one that I think would be useful to use. Okay, crimes suitable for profiling include all of the following except A, sadistic torture and sexual assaults, B, lust and mutilation murders, C, consumer fraud, D, arson. What is the correct answer there? Well, with that question, you know that we have material on sexual assaults, on murder, and arson, but not on consumer fraud. And also looking in the textbook and the YouTube videos and PowerPoint, you see that sadistic torture, arson, and lust and mutilation murders are crimes that are profiled. And so the correct answer there, crimes suitable for profiling include all of the following except the one that doesn't would be consumer fraud. Just to give you an example from criminal profiling. And if you're in both courses, and you have me for both courses this semester, thank you for taking both of those courses. And I always recommend, make sure you have an environment that's comfortable, and that you have all your materials set out and organized and are well prepared, and that you have internet access and everything. I like to have a cup of coffee, but that's not necessary to take my exams. And I like to recommend realizing that an hour and 15 minutes isn't a long period of time, but it's also not a short period of time. And the goal, I think, is to be prepared. And so you recognize a lot of the questions and answers, and then if there's some that maybe you would need to look up in the textbook or something of that sort, it's going to take a little bit more time. Then what, of course, you want to do is maybe jot down that, you want to come back to number 8 and make sure you get the other stuff done, because you don't want to go ahead and spend 10 minutes on number 8 and then you get to number 45, time runs out and you miss 5. So you want to make sure you use some time management skills there as well. If there's any questions you have about, the exams or anything, of course, you can email me on our web course site, and I'll be glad to try to provide answers for you. And my goal is for you to learn the material and use this material in your career, and of course succeed in the course. So I wish you all best on the exam, and I'm confident that you all will do well. Thank you.